to my channel, or welcome if you're new. It is dark in here. Let me just add some light to this. I am a mess. I took my hat off, I was at the gym, but I wanted to make this video really quick, just updating you guys on Paragard and the food sensitivity test that I did. They go hand in hand, kind of, because I have been trying to fix my gut for a while, and I just knew it had to be something with my gut. Like, I'm doing everything right. I went to the doctor, like, it just had to be something with my gut. I just had a feeling, and so I was working on trying to fix it, and of course, I see these things all over TikTok, so I'm just kind of going to tell you guys the process and like the things I did and how I think they affected me, and then I'll go over like the food sensitivity test and the results of that, just to give you guys an idea of what has been happening with me, what has worked for me, my experience, because I've shared about it on like TikTok and Instagram, and a lot of people wanted to see it. So I am going to share that with you guys. I'm going to start with a little, I forgot this is here, with a little backstory into basically what was happening. So obviously, if you guys have been following me for a while, I have been working out, lifting for about 4 years, and I haven't been in a deficit, but I sort of eat at maintenance. And in January of last year, I was starting to go into a little deficit. I was going away in March for spring break, wanted to cut down a little bit, so I did, worked fine, all that. Fast forward, March comes, we go to the Dominican, and then come back, and over the summer, so about in June, is when this started. I noticed I had some more weight gain. I noticed that I was so much more bloated. Everything made me bloated no matter what I was really eating. It sucked. And then I went to the doctor in August, I want to say. August, and got blood work done, talked about everything. Like, she told me I was doing everything right. I'm very active basically 6 days out of the week, 5 or 6 days out of the week. I'm very active. I was in a more active job at that time compared to my job now, but I was still eating well and going to the gym. And so I went to the doctor and we went over all that. Blood work, everything came back normal. I did have slightly high cholesterol, which is interesting. I eat a lot of red meat though, dairy, so not surprised, but she wasn't very concerned about that. So anyways, did that. And then I was like, you know what? I don't like tracking. You guys have seen my videos about it. Not big on tracking, but I did it for a little bit because I was like, let me see what I'm eating. Am I actually eating in a surplus? Like, is this why? Blah, blah, blah. Gonna make myself be in a deficit, and I can physically see it, tracking everything, so I know, okay, I am in a deficit, I'm not crazy. So I did that, and I stayed with tracking for about a month, and so most of about the end of September and then all of October, and I've just gotten into a routine now. I'm like, okay, I know what I'm eating, I know that I'm in a deficit, I'm still working out, I'm still active, like, I should be seeing results, and I still wasn't. So there's a backstory on that. So yeah, I was in a deficit, but still wasn't seeing results. It just wasn't making sense, basically. And I've also, keep in mind, I had stopped, I don't drink as much because I'm not in school anymore. My eating, I'm very, like, on, oh my God, schedule with it. So it just wasn't making sense, basically. Sleeping better, all that. So I was like, okay. First thing I did was I was on TikTok, of course, and people are talking about greens and L-glutamine helping with your gut and bloating and all that. So I did get them. I have L-glutamine, greens, and I do still take them. I don't really think it made a huge difference in my case. Again, as we get through this, maybe that was not the reason, but I did end up using those, and I do just like taking them anyways. You do not need supplements in any way, shape, or form, especially these supplements. They're not FDA approved. You never really know what you're gonna get with them. I always wanna point that out. But for me, I decided to try them, and I do still take them, like I said, because, I don't know, they make me feel good. It's a good start to my day, whatever. but I know I don't need them. But basically I wasn't really seeing many results with that. Maybe I was feeling a little bit more energized in the morning, a little better, but wasn't really noticing any difference from that. So fast forward, again, TikTok, I'm way too easily influenced, but seen a ton of videos on it, and I was at the point where I was getting so frustrated because I knew I was being active, I was working out the same way I've been working out for years, I've been using the same supplements, I hadn't changed anything that I've been doing, so it just didn't make sense, and I knew I was in a deficit, like I said. So I was very desperate at this point, and it was quite upsetting, it was frustrating. I had people on my comments, mostly on TikTok. People didn't say anything on Instagram. People are more brutal on TikTok. Noticing the weight gain. Granted, my pinned videos at the time, they're updated now, were from 2020. So like literally 2 years ago. So I don't look the same as I did 2 years ago. But obviously there was a difference. But people were saying, you looked like you gained weight, you looked so much better before, blah, blah, blah. Which, granted, I did gain weight. Gained a lot of strength too. But again, we're going to go into like the results after, so I won't say anything now. But yeah, it was just super frustrating. I was super upset about it. I still am super upset about it. Like, I'm still in the process of getting to normal again. But yeah, it was just super upsetting. So I was desperate at this point. I was like, I'm trying anything. So, Paragard. Got that next off of Amazon. It's actually interesting because literally the night that I ordered it, they messaged me, this exact company, to like pay me to promote a video, which I've done with companies before, whatever. But my thing, I've said this, or maybe I haven't posted about this yet actually, but I will not work with brands that, if it's something I wouldn't buy myself with my own money, or if it's something that I don't believe in, that I don't think is ethical, I'm not going to work with them and post it, whatever. And even though, granted, I did buy this with my own money already, I don't really do these type of things, and I didn't know how it would work, so I didn't really want to promote it without doing it myself, and I'm still not promoting it. I never did it, so this isn't like an ad for them or anything. I genuinely use this, and like this is what happened. So, if you don't know, Paragard, it's supposed to help heal your gut. It supports your digestive system, and basically, it doesn't say heals your gut, but it is to help with your gut health and help basically do a cleanse. And it is like a parasite cleanse. I saw a ton of things on TikTok also. I saw a ton of reviews on Amazon, and it was one way or the other. Either it was awful or it did wonders. So do your own research, of course. I didn't really research that much that's bad on my part, but like I said, I was desperate and I was like, I'm just gonna try it, whatever. So I got it, and there's 2 different types of treatments. So there's 30 drops is a serving basically, which seems like a lot, but like, I don't know if you guys can really see, there is still quite a bit left in there. 30 drops 3 times a day for 10 days, and then that's like a mild treatment, mild support. I shouldn't say treatment, it doesn't treat anything. And then more intense support is 30 drops 4 times a day for 30 days. I did the 10 days, I kind of like fell off after that. I wanted to do 30 days, but here's why. A lot of people were finding parasites after, because it is technically like a parasite cleanse, and I was like, if this heals my gut, if I do have one, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I did have one. Day 4 is when I found that out. Nothing like weird happened, it's just like, they were there. We're not going to go into detail, but they were there. Haven't had any since. But my experience, now this is my experience. I'm not telling you to go out and do this. I'm not saying this works. I'm not saying it's going to do the same thing for you. I'm only telling my experience because that's what people wanted to hear. This was just me. I am not telling you to go do this. If you're having issues, do what I did and go to a doctor first and see what you can do. Like I said, I was desperate, and so I did this, and this is my experience. But after that, I felt so much better. Like, the bloating was not as severe. I still get bloated sometimes, and like, whatever, since then. But like, it is not as severe and not as uncomfortable as it was. I've noticed I'm starting to now lose weight easier because I'm still in this deficit, like I said, because I'm going away in January and I'm not doing a bulk like everyone is bulking season, sadly. But I want to feel confident, and I have not felt confident the past few months. So I was like, I'm going away on this trip, I'm going to be in a bathing suit, I want to feel confident, so I'm in a deficit. And ever since this happened, I have been feeling quite a bit better, and I've been seeing results. And I posted the other day on my Instagram, on my story, I put it in my highlights though on Instagram under progress. So like if you want to see the difference that since August to now, you can go and like look at those photos. But I did not really do that yet. Like that was my first time. I was like, oh my God. Like I could notice, I'm kind of looking a little better. I'm feeling better now. But I didn't notice it until I looked at those photos. So it's crazy, and I'm feeling a lot better about the progress that I'm making now. So like I said, I'm still taking the greens each day, and I'm kind of doing this a little bit in between because it is just supposed to be good for your gut in general. So I've just been doing that, but not as intense as before. But the other thing with Paragard, a lot of people have been saying so many different things, but that was my experience. I haven't paid attention to the other things people say. Some people have said like they've noticed they like certain things anymore, like they don't like sugar, they don't like alcohol, whatever, which like they weren't saying is a bad thing, they were saying it is a good thing. Just stuff like that. I can't say that from my experience that I've noticed, so I'm not gonna say that, but that was my experience. I've been feeling a little bit better. I feel like my digestion has been better. I had a parasite apparently, it's gone. And my bloating has been like at a minimal. I've been feeling a lot better. So yeah, that is the Paragard experience. And I feel like that was a big part of it. And we're thinking maybe the Dominican is when I could have gotten it, because a lot of people say when you leave the country, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was America because we know about all the shit in our food. So I'm not going to assume. I don't know. It's supposedly out of me now, so like whatever. Anyways, that was that experience. Now let's talk about my food sensitivity test that I did. Okay, now I did the test through Advanced Food Intolerance Labs. This is them. They have, so their Instagram and TikTok, I don't know if their TikTok is my AFIL. So like Advanced Food Intolerance Labs, AFIL. And their Instagram is at Food Intolerance Labs, Advanced Food Intolerance Labs. So I just wanted to show you guys that. So they did send this to me. They reached out to me and wanted to send me this so I could like update you guys with the results. But I've wanted to do a food sensitivity test for so long. So like I was so happy about this because I also feel like I'm insensitive to something because I eat whatever. Like I don't really cut anything out because I don't believe in cutting anything out unless you need to, unless you're allergic to it, have an intolerance to it, whatever. Like you should just be able to eat balanced. There's no need to cut anything out unless you, like I said, you need to. I get some things can be inflammatory, more so for others, which again, if you have some sort of reaction to it, then yes, like that's a reason to cut down on something or cut something out. If you don't, there's no need. But anyways, so I have the results here on my phone. So I want to go through with you guys. So basically what it said, how it's categorized. So there's a green, orange, and red category. So green is like beneficial foods that, you know, react well with you, not inflammatory, optimal for you, that type of thing. Goes through alcohols too, some alcohols, which we will get to. And then orange is neutral, so they should be consumed as little as possible. Not that, you know, it's gonna be bad, but should be consumed as little as possible afterwards. And then red are the inflammatory causing food and drinks. These are not beneficial for me, and I should not be consuming them where I can, basically. So obviously we're here to talk about the things in red. which I was shocked by and upset by. So, if you guys know me, which obviously some of you may not, I love tequila. That is my drink of choice. It has the least amount of calories, which I know that's not important, but when I would drink at school, it would make me feel a little better. Tequila sours, tequila soda with cranberry, regular tequila soda, tequila sunrise, margaritas, like go-to drinks. In the red, we have tequila. So that actually makes a lot of sense because, like I said, like that's my go-to drink. And if I've been having this issue, because I've been having like gut issues for a while, but the bloating and uncomfortableness and weight gain didn't really start till after the summer. So I feel like I kind of bring that to the parasite issue. Then again, I don't know, but that's my assumption because I wasn't having those type of issues before, but I've always had like digestive issues, gut issues. I've been having that for a while, and like anyone who knows me knows that, knows me personally. I haven't like shared about it on social media, but anyone who knows me personally. So that makes a lot of sense, but it was disappointing to hear. I did have someone tell me that for basically all of the drinks aside from like tequila sour, you can substitute with like white rum, which I did this weekend. I had a tequila sunrise, but instead of the tequila sunrise, I used Bacardi, and it tasted pretty good. So I don't know, and rum is in the green for me, so I can drink rum. And since we're on the topic, I will just tell you guys because it's just so interesting. In the green was Prosecco, gin, whiskey, rum, champagne, schnapps, and brandy. Nothing that I drink. I do like champagne. But anyways, so I got rum in the freezer because I like to have a drink every now and then. I'm human, whatever. Oh my god, can you see my cat in the litter box? We're not going to talk about that. This light is really flushing me out though. Anyways, as we continue here, I'm trying to find some better lighting for myself. So next, so vodka was also in the orange, not in the red, but it was in the orange. We don't like to hear that either. Anyways, so that was for alcohols, and obviously it lets you know, even though an alcohol is in the green, they don't recommend you drink it more than like the recommended amount for alcohol, which makes sense. But so I know. So that makes a lot of sense that tequila was in the red. Also jasmine tea and beer were in the red. Also very interesting. I don't drink beer, so it doesn't really affect me. But I thought that was interesting. So there's all different categories as well for like each food group, like meats, dairy, drinks, stuff like that. I'm not going to go through every single one with you guys, but I will tell you some of the ones that stood out to me that were really interesting. So again, we're still talking about the red: parsley, pumpkin, yams, red onion. I eat red onion, decent amounts, so that was interesting. Sesame seeds, also interesting. Bacon, very sad. I don't have a lot of bacon though. Salts, so sea salt and Himalayan pink salt. Those, I don't eat those, so that was fine. Coconut milk and hemp milk are in the red, which thank God the others weren't because I love milk and I love dairy. Speaking of which, cheddar cheese, cottage cheese, and sour cream. I love all of those. And cheddar is like the best cheese, and it's the most commonly used cheese. So that's upsetting. But according to me, now again, I don't know how accurate this really is. You're supposed to try and cut these things out for 6 to 8 weeks and then test again to see like if there were any changes from you cutting out those things, and if you're like still intolerant to it, that type of thing. So this is just my initial result that I'm telling you guys right now. So yeah, those are the like interesting ones in the red. We'll go through some of the orange too. Zucchini and potatoes, broccoli and Brussels sprouts. What am I allowed to eat here? I told you guys vodka. Avocado, we just needed to pause for that because avocado, upsetting. Greek yogurt, and that's really the ones I'll highlight for that. And then the green, luckily, there's a lot of green, so that's good. But in total, I had 48 flagged red inflammatory foods. 48. And a lot of people were like, that seems like a lot, which it is. And it also makes sense because of the issues that I've had. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Now, it also goes through and tells me the details of all of these things, and it gives me some suggestions. So I will tell you guys what it tells me about suggested nutrition: consume leafy greens, portion control my food, eat the foods highlighted in green for at least 6 weeks, consume bone broth and collagen, which I have a collagen bone broth, so that works out perfectly, and I love drinking that, especially on cold days. But that was actually interesting to know, because I do drink that a lot. A balanced diet, obviously. Limit sugar intake and junk food, avoid foods highlighted in red, and then preferably in orange for at least 6 weeks. Reduce caffeine, avoid prepackaged foods. A lot of those are like generalized, I would assume. Caffeine, I took a DNA test like 2 years ago, found out it said I was sensitive to caffeine. I didn't know how accurate that was either. I don't drink coffee. Really the only caffeine I get is from my pre-workout, which I obviously only take like 5 days a week. So my caffeine is pretty limited. It would probably be worse, I guess, if I did drink coffee. So then lifestyle, regular exposure to sunlight, maintain ideal weight, which I'm above my ideal weight, but I've always been above my ideal weight, and I still looked good. So I don't think the number on the scale matters. It's about lifestyle, your choices, what you're eating, how active you are. Obviously, BMI is different for those who have a lot of muscle mass. So we're bearing that in mind. Stay active, of course, at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, preferably before 11. That's basic generalized. Limit dining out to 1 to 2 times a week. Avoid long periods of inactivity, smoking and alcohol, overexertion and overexercising. Stop eating before 8 p.m. Now that I do not agree with. Done videos on that. It does not matter what time you eat. You can eat at any time of the day. Your body does not have a clock built into your stomach that says, okay, it's 8:05, let's turn this into fat. No. That's the dumbest thing ever. You can eat at whatever time. It is about calories in and calories out. That's it. It doesn't matter what time you eat. That is bullshit. So we're ignoring that. And then it does tell me to take the test again, blah, blah, blah. So those are the main highlights there. So those are my results. So after the Paragard, using that for a little bit, getting that parasite out of me, and then now that I see these sensitivities and I can pay a little more attention to what I'm eating and say, okay, I'm sensitive to this, let's make a substitution here and there. I haven't been like as on top of it, but with a few things, like I said, I switched out my tequila for rum. Not having cottage cheese really anymore, cutting down on cheese because a lot of the shredded cheese we have is cheddar. So little things like that. And like I said, I've been noticing changes, and you can go to my Instagram and see my story highlights where it says progress. You can see those photos. It's about a 3-month difference, and I've still been getting stronger, still been making progress in the gym in a deficit. So that is my whole experience on trying to fix my gut. And like I said, I am still taking greens and L-glutamine in the morning. Not necessary whatsoever, but it's just kind of part of my routine now, and I don't mind it. And it makes me feel good when I take it in the morning. I don't think it has a huge effect on anything else. I'm not going to say it helped with my bloating and helped with this situation at all, because personally, I don't feel like I noticed that. I saw some people said they did. My experience, not really. But like I said, I just take it because I choose to, but I don't need it. When I go away, I don't take it with me to take every day, like whatever. So yeah, that is my experience with you guys. I wanted to share it because, like I said, a lot of people asked, and I just feel like it's very interesting. And a lot of people feel like these days, I feel like that's weird to say, but it's true, have gut issues. And a lot of it does have to do with the food we consume. And doing stuff like this is just very interesting to me. And that test, seeing those results was quite interesting. So I just wanted to go through and tell you guys my experience. Like I said, I'm not telling you guys to do any of this, although the food sensitivity test is really cool. And if you are interested in that, I mean, there's no harm in doing a food sensitivity test. Like I said, I don't know how accurate they are, so I'm not going to tell you it's going to be correct. Who knows? Stuff online might not be accurate. There's a lot there. But I think it's a general idea and it's a good start. So I would say do that if you can, if you want to, do a food sensitivity test. But I'm not telling you to go out and get Paragard. I'm not telling you you have a parasite. I'm not telling you to take fucking greens every day. Pardon my French, but like, this is just what worked for me, what happened with me in my experience. I'm not going to tell you guys that it's going to be the same for you. So I just want to share that with you guys, and thank you guys for watching. I hope it gave you some sort of insight. It's just interesting to see things like this. I hope I start seeing some more progress as we get towards, going through December and into January when it's our vacation. Christmas will be interesting, but I'm not going to limit myself because you shouldn't have to, and my birthday, so we'll see how that goes. But that's where we're at. You guys can follow along. I'll be posting a lot more progress and like updates on Instagram. I do some on TikTok, so you can follow me there at Michelle Maceo Fitness, and I'll post some more updates. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.